Hey everybody, it's Christina. Welcome back to Stampin' on Friday. First, I just want to thank everybody for your comments and your feedback on my videos that I had requested last video, that you kind of tell me which you prefer, the longer videos or the shorter videos. And most of you prefer the longer videos, and the ones that prefer the shorter videos don't care to see like the cutting and the trimming and stuff like that. So here's what I decided we'll do. I'm going to keep doing longer videos, and I'm just going to skip over all of the cutting and the trimming, as most of the time it's just dimensions and measurements that you need to know, and I'll still mention those, but I won't actually show the trimming and stuff like that. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started with today's card. It's got a little bit of stamping. So it's not a full-fledged Stampin' on Friday. It's just that today is Friday. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be using my Big Shot. So I have my platform and my embossing folder, and I'm using the Perfect Polka Dots. And with my embossing folders, what I do is I just take one of my clear labels from my label maker and just stick it down the bottom so I know which embossing folder, the name of it. And we're going to bring in my Big Shot. And then for a piece of cardstock, I'm using Whisper White. This measures 4 1/4 inch square. And I am going to go ahead and place that into my embossing folder. We're going to use tab 1 on our platform. So I'm just going to stick that one tab in there. And then, of course, we'll need our 2 acrylic plates, and we'll run that through our Big Shot to do our polka dot embossing. Alright, so that's my embossed piece, and you can see the cute little polka dots. I'm going to use this as a layer behind a piece of the Perfect Plum cardstock. Alright, so I have a piece of Perfect Plum cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I am going to go ahead and do some white embossing of my sentiment. I'm just going to use my embossing buddy to emboss, or use the powder up in the top there, because I did just put hand cream on, which means that I've transferred some oils from my hands over to my cardstock, and I don't want my embossing powder to stick to anything but my sentiment. So I'm going to use Versamark, and I'm going to ink up my sentiment, which I'm using the You Make Me Happy, which comes from the Happy watercolor stamp set. And I stamp this up in the top corner. And hopefully I got that pretty straight. Oh, I did. Fabulous. All right, so we're going to use the white embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle that on. I like to cover mine twice. I like to sprinkle it on twice, because then I know I'm getting a really good coverage of the white embossing powder. And the Stampin' Up! Embossing powder is fantastic. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and heat set my You Make Me Happy sentiment. So I just have my heat gun here. Alright, I have my sentiment all heated up. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the full heart punch, and I'm going to just do some punch sections on here. I'm going to do one that's kind of coming off the side, and then I'm going to do one full punch down the bottom here, just like so. And then I'm going to do one more up in the top here. Just like that. And the next thing I'm going to do is use my white gel pen, and I'm going to do some stitched lines going around the outside of my mat here, along with the stitch lines are going around the hearts. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so that is my outlined piece. So I really like how that came out. So now I'm going to do is use my Tombow Mono adhesive, and I have to be careful because that white ink from the gel pen is still a little wet, so I don't want to smear it and get it all over the place. And you can see I stamped my sentiment crooked one time. So I'm just adding some Tombow Mono, and I want to make sure I especially get near those little edges if there's any little tiny pieces there, just to make sure it adheres down nicely to that embossed piece. So we're going to go ahead and line this up onto my embossed piece. So now the embossed polka dots stick through the heart piece. So there is that piece. That's the layer that's going to go on the front of my card, which my card base measures 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I'm just using a piece of Whisper White for that. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back and pop that up onto my card. So I'm going to adhere this down to the front of my card, and I really love how the Perfect Plum pops with the white cardstock. I really like that look. So I'm just centering this onto the front of my card, which hopefully is straight. Yes. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is take a piece of Whisper White cardstock in the small heart punch and just punch out a small heart in the Whisper White, and I'm going to pop that up using a dimensional, which I cut in half, and I will then go ahead and adhere this down onto my card. I think I'll just put it right there at a little bit of an angle. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Wink of Stella gel pen. This is the clear, I believe, the clear. And I'm just going to use that on my heart. And you won't be able to see it in the video, but I will post a picture where hopefully you'll get a better view of what that looks like. So that's my card for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, a list of supplies are down below or over my blog if you want to check them out. And I'll catch everybody next time.